Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
We are the brothers from the GMS Arizona camp coming back at y'all with the Lord's will and the edifying lesson. First and foremost, as always, want to give all the praise, honor, and the infinite glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rechakodash.
double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you brothers pushing and teaching His truth across the four winds of this earth. And as always, peace, blessings, and many salutations be to you sincere brothers and sisters who are tuning in.
That's right, man. The water, bro. Shalom to all you Akim, you Akwat, you brothers and you few sisters that subscribe to this doctrine that was given through His Spirit and power, Yahweh Shemel Shai. To our beloved elder apostles, elder bishops, elders, and Akim pushing His gospel and truth and His sincerity today. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Fuck him. May the election of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. And me and the brother, man, we're ultimately just, chopping it up, man. And, a topic ultimately came out through the Spirit, man, of, Lord is with us, even in our darkest hours, and brothers constantly going through things, man, especially now, right? Everything's turning up, you know what I mean? Especially here in Arizona, really all over America, all over the world, jobs are being lost, right? The economy is just going to shits, you know what I mean? The currencies, paper currencies of these nations is being destroyed, So there's a lot of things that are going on. Hey, brothers, you are constantly going through it. Really, everyone's going through it, but nonetheless, brothers is going through it. The true believers are going through it heavily.
Right.
But there's something that we have to, understand is that the Lord is always with us.
No matter what.
Literally, no matter what. And, we're ultimately going to get some accounts, right, of the Lord, showing our forefathers, right, just as He's going to show us and constantly shows us even now, that He's with us, man, by different signs and different miracles, right, the Lord has happened for us, even in these times, but more in the times to come.
Yeah.
So we'll grab that Romans Bible show.
Con, this is the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope."
That's right. And really, these accounts that we're gonna go into right through the Spirit, man, Lord will, they're comforting, right? Because it allows us to show you, it allows us to see that, hey, our forefathers went through it too, right? And they went through these hard times, right? But no matter what, they continue to trust and believe in Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And guess what? Yahweh, Yahweh Shai help them through that situation. And guess what? We go through these situations as well, right? And the Lord shows us, that He's with us. Sometimes it might not be immediate help, but there's a lesson to be learned, right? There's things that you can, pinpoint and focus on, right? That's a blessing as well. But nonetheless, the Lord is always with us, right? Whether it's Him showing us, what we need to learn about ourselves, or, whether it be, the Lord delivering us out of that situation, even when we knew that there was no other way unless the Lord helped us, So these things, again, they allow us, to be comforted, and at the same time build us, in our faith in the Lord.
Right. That's right, bro.
So you got
I was on that Daniel 3.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go
ahead, brother.
Con, this is Daniel 3rd chapter, and I'm gonna start at the point, right? Because when you go into this account, right, King Nebuchadnezzar, which was the king of Babylon, the ancient Babylonian kingdom, right, he ultimately set up a golden image, right, for everybody, right, to ultimately bow down and worship, right? And the punishment for not bowing down and worshiping that golden image, okay, was ultimately you will be thrown into a fiery furnace. You see, and we understand that, we're coming into a time where the RFID CHIP is going to be made mandatory, and that's going to be the modern day, golden image, right, that's going to be set up for you to be able to take, or for you to have to take, in order to participate in society, right? That includes buying food, that includes paying your rent, having a job, paying your car payment, right? Because everything is gonna be a whole digital system, right, based off of that RFID CHIP, that little electronic grain of rice, right? So we're coming into this time as we're about to read all over again. This is Daniel chapter 3, and verse 14. And it says, let me start right here. Verse 14, it says, Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? So now, because, they were brought before the king because it was told that they weren't going to bow down, right? Ultimately worship, right? Nebuchadnezzar's false god, which that's really what that word image goes into, right? As a false deity. It says, Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye have heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, pulse, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, and you can speak on it whenever you want to, bro.
Okay.
It says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. So they said, we're not worried about how we answer you, concerning this, man. Right? They weren't reverencing him like, oh, he's, a great king. They're like, no, we're not going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It says, like scripture say, obey the laws of the land. But like the apostles made mention, obey the laws of the land until you can't. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Until it
conflicts, right, with the law, statute, commandments of Yahweh Shem El Shai.
Right.
Because Yahweh Shem El Shai always comes first.
Exactly.
And if you don't put Yahweh Shem El Shai first, these type of miracles that we're reading about aren't going to happen. They're not going to happen because you don't fully trust in Yahweh Shem El Shai.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
That's right, bro. It says, verse 17. It says, if it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship that golden image which thou hast set up.
And what did Joshua say, man? He said, as for me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord, man. So he wasn't playing about that, man. He said, hey, our power is gonna deliver us. Hey, even if you don't, we still ain't gonna follow you.
Right.
They
chose rather to die, because they knew what they were saying. Like, not going and bowing down was gonna bring them to that furnace, man.
Yeah.
You think they were, they had Jake, like, man, but they had that faith though, man.
That's right.
It says, then was verse 19. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore, and you could imagine he's sitting there like pissed off and spit coming out of his mouth. Get that vein in his neck. It says, therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heat. So they turned that furnace 7 times more than they normally do. You know what I'm saying? So, and that number 7 is number completion. So there's no telling how hot them flames were, but you about to find out how hot them flames were.
Even then, when you read, in the prayer of Azariah, right, the song of the 3 holy children, right, it tells you that flame was so high that it was 49 cubits high, man. That's fucking huge. That's a big ass fucking flame, man. Now I don't necessarily know the exact numbers on that, right? But even if it's a foot, 49 feet is not fucking small, man. That's huge as shit.
Yeah.
Now obviously it's more than a foot, but nonetheless, that's when you read it and it literally tells you it's 49 cubits high, man. That's intense. So they had to be. We're talking about thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of degrees, man.
It's like they were being thrown into
basically
damn near a volcano, man, or the sun.
Yeah.
It says, verse 20, and he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Right. So even the guys that were literally throwing them in the fire was so hot, it took their ass too. But we'll watch. Keep reading.
Come on, it says, and these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire.
Right, so you said 4, but hey, watch. You know, you had Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, or Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael, right? And then you had who?
And they have no hurt. And the form of the 4th was like the Son of the Most High.
Whoa. So you had Yahweh Shai there with them, man. In the time of, you know, basically their death, when they were to be put to death, right? The situation didn't look, you know, it didn't look good, man. And it's spiritual too, because they were put in that fire. Well, the Lord said, what? He tries what? Acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, man. So we're in that same position, right? Where the situations that we deal with, right? Whether it be financial, whether it be physical, whether it be, hey, even you and a brother, you know, have an aunt, you know, hey, the Lord is going to be there and solve that situation, man. You know, sometimes it might take a while. Sometimes, you know, it might take the Lord showing you about yourself, right? In order for that situation to be cold, man.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation is, the Lord is always there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I want to read this in the prayer of Azariah, right? Which we're going to go back and forth, right? This kind of helps to give, you know, better understanding, right? Prayer of Azariah, or it says, or not prayer of Azariah, Salakia. It says a song of the 3 holy children. We're almost start at verse 22. It says, and the king's servants that put them in cease not to make the oven hot with rosin, pitch, tow, and small wood. So they're throwing all this shit in there. And this is talking about that fire, right? They heated it up 7 times more, you know? That, again, that number is completion, man. So, hey, it could be, you know, whatever the number is, man. We don't necessarily know,
right?
You know,
right.
But it describes that fire right here, right? It says, verse 23, it says, so that the flame streamed forth above the furnace 49 cubits, man. 49 cubits higher than the furnace, right? So Salakia, I said just in height. No, that's from the furnace. You know, from the top of the furnace, 49 cubits, man. You know,
it wasn't small.
No, it wasn't, man. You know, and it says, verse 24, it says, and it passed through and burnt those Chaldeans and found about the furnace. So again, speaking on those men that were going to throw them in the fire, right? It killed them too. That's how hot it was. They got too close, right? Verse 25 says, but the angel of the Lord, which we know is Yahweh Shai, you know, it just said like one like the Son of Man,
right?
You know, or the Son of God, the Son of the Most High, yep. You know, which is Yahweh Shai, right? The only beloved begotten Son of the Lord, man, right? Verse 25 says, but the angel of the Lord came down into the oven together with Azarias and his fellows, and smoked the flame of the fire out of the oven, and made the midst of the furnace as it had been a moist whistling wind, so that the fire touched them not at all, neither hurt nor troubled them. So we're talking about, think about that, man. You being in a fire, right? You ever lit a candle or try to put your hand on it? After a while, you going back and forth, it'll start to heat your skin up and it'll burn. Well, guess what? Imagine keeping your hand on that and it'll never burn. It actually feels cold.
It feels cold.
This is a whistling wind, like a cool breeze, man. Like, think about that, man. The Lord did that. That's a miracle. A flame 49 cubits from the furnace. Imagine how tall that was, man.
Right.
That's 100-something feet. If you know, if my math is correct. If not, just shy of that, man. You know, that's a big ass fucking flame right there, man.
Yeah, bro.
You know, and the Lord made it to where that flame didn't trouble them, but it killed the 2 men the men that threw them in there.
That just shows you. Now I'm glad you said that too, because the men who went to throw them in there died as they were throwing them, because that's how hot it was. But see, that just shows you that the Lord was already with them before they went into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So as they were in the fire, it's like the Lord never left. The Lord walked with them into the fire, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because scriptures talk about how, you know, we're joint, you know, with Yahweh Shai and his sufferings, man. You know, if Yahweh Shai was here, you know, we'd be catching the same hell with our Lord, man. You know, whether it had been getting persecuted or, you know what I'm saying, just dealing with the flesh and fighting, you know, unbelief, you know, not really fighting unbelievers, but I mean, he probably would have that too. But just, you know, fighting against that, you know, spiritually, everything that the Lord is going through, man, we're going through now. You see what I'm saying? And hey, you know, Lord willing, we would have been one of the ones that helped him carry the cross. which we know, it was meant for that man that did help him carry that cross when he was here. But nevertheless, man, it's the same thing.
That's right, man. I want to read a couple more verses on this, and then we'll drop down. Verse 27 it says, then the three as out of one mouth praised, glorified, and blessed the Most High in the furnace, saying, and I'm gonna read a couple verses. It says, blessed art thou, O Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, power of our fathers, and to be praised and exalted above all forever. So again, they're giving praise to the Lord, man. They see this and they give praise to the Lord. And guess what, bro? When the Lord ultimately blesses us and does a miracle for us, those who really, the Lord's only going to do, miracles like that for the elect, and the true believers, but ultimately, when you see that, what do? You give praise. Hey, brothers, hey, me and this brother, man, we get live, man. Hey, we be yelling, call Lord, we be yelling that shit, man. Slacky, we be yelling that, I don't mean to say that word, Slacky, Yabashim Shah, but we say it loud and proud, man, mm-hmm. In a righteous sense, But hey, we say it, man. We scream it, because it's like, man, like the Lord did that. He didn't have to do that too, man. Lord didn't have to do that. Scriptures say that, we all committed sins worthy of death, even then our righteousness as filthy rags, man. So it's like we're really not, in a sense, we're really not worthy, right, to receive any kind of mercy from the Lord because of what we've done, man. Hey, but the Lord still showed us his mercy, man. And many times, and I'm gonna drop down and I'll pass it to you, brother. Drop down to verse 65. It says, "O Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael, bless ye the Lord, and praise and exalt him above all forever. For he hath delivered us from hell and saved us from the hand of death, and delivered us out of the midst of the furnace and burning flame. Even out of the midst of the fire hath he delivered us." He didn't have to do that, man. But the Lord has never at any time, ultimately, with brother, if we can grab that scripture too, right? In 2 Maccabees, the 6th chapter, the Lord has never withdrew his mercy from us, man. Even at times we didn't deserve it. Just like in the wilderness, all those wicked ass niggas murmuring against the Lord, and he still showed mercy, man.
That's funny because I was holding that.
Hey, that's beautiful. We're going to grab that after.
This is 2 Maccabees. Chapter 6 and verse. Let me get straight to the point.
Get where you get.
2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 12. It says, "Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation.
Mm-hmm.
For it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with other nations whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they be come to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us, lest that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance of us. And therefore he never withdraweth his mercy from us."
Never withdraws his mercy from us. Go ahead.
"And though he punish with adversity, yet doeth he never forsake his people."
Never forsake his people. And I got another one to back that up too. Just we're gonna beat the dead horse, man. You know what I mean? As they say, right? This is Isaiah chapter 41 in I'll start at verse 8. It says, "But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant. I have chosen thee and not cast thee away." So the Lord's always been with us, man, at all times, and more so, right? Because in the time of ancient Egypt, the Lord was he brought all the Israelites out. All the Israelites out of captivity, right? But in this time, he's not going to do that. He's only going to bring the elect out of captivity, and by way of miracles, man. Again, showing us that he's with us, just as he did back then.
It's dying on the charger.
I know, right? That's Satan, though, man. And unless you got a precept.
Did you want me to grab some? Because I did have a precept.
Go ahead, brother.
Just like the brother said, man, the Lord, see, all the time, man, especially in the wilderness, the Lord didn't have to have mercy on us, man. Jake constantly complaining about not having, food. So then the Lord give us
You want? Oh, your phone's. Yeah. I mean, it's back on now.
con.
Yeah, it's back on. No, it's not. It's not about today.
Oh, okay, con. You see, but just like when we were in the wilderness, man, Jay complained about not having no food. So Lord give us angels bread, give us the manna from heaven. Right? So we complain about that. So then the Lord gives us the quails. We complain about not having nothing to drink. So then the Lord, through Moses cast the stone and the rivers came out, man.
It's lucky. Hey, any of viewers or anything, if you can hear us, Baba Shah, ultimately, put in the chat, say we're good. I just want to make sure, sometimes when a call comes in, man, it'll cut the mic off, So if you can hear us and we sound good, Baba Shah, if you can ultimately, put up a comment, say we're good, as far as sound, But Salakia, go ahead, brother.
No, you good, bro. This is Second Ezra chapter 1 and verse 5. I'll start verse 4. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Go thy way and show my people their sinful deeds, and their children their wickedness which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children, because the sins of their fathers are increased in them, for they have forgotten me and offered unto strange gods. Am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath and despised my counsels. Pull thou off then the hair of thine head, and cast all evil upon them, for they have not been obedient unto my law, but it is a rebellious people. How long shall I forbear them unto whom I have done so much good? Many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with his servants, and all his power have I smitten down. All the nations have I destroyed before them. And in the east I have scattered the people of 2 provinces, even of Tyrese and Sidon, and have slain all their enemies." See, the Lord literally took life so that we can have life, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's no light thing. You got somebody that kills for you. You you can trust that person because they got your back no matter what, man. So, but the Heavenly Father has taken millions of lives so that we could, so that we could become prosperous, But that just goes to show you the love that the Heavenly Father has always had for us. You know what I'm saying? And the love that he still has to this day, the fact that he even gave us this truth and the knowledge of who we were and of his holy and powerful name and the mighty, holy, and powerful name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shah. You see that? So the Lord's still showing that mercy, like we brought out that precept, where he's never going to withdraw his mercy. Right? And us being in this truth is an example of that, man, of the Lord's mercy. But that was the point right there. Yeah, that was the point.
Can you grab that Wisdom of Solomon that you had?
Yeah.
19.
Yes, sir.
And
22. What do you want me to start on that?
You can start at damn, I kind of just want to get the whole chapter. We'll start at verse 18. Again, going back into again the miracles the Lord ultimately did for us. When those in ancient Egypt, man. Again going into very dark times, man. Moments where the Lord was ultimate. Again, he was he was there for us, man. When Pharaoh was coming after us, chasing after us, there was certain miracles the Lord did, right, to protect us. And again, these are things that we have to constantly meditate on as well, right? Because these things are ultimately going to be happening, and this time for the elect. The Lord ain't playing, man. Lord's finna defend us, man. You know.
Yeah.
You can grab that too.
You said start from verse 18. Should we just start from the top?
Yeah, I mean we got time. Yeah.
This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 19 and verse 1. As for the ungodly, wrath came upon them without mercy unto the end. For he knew before what they would do, how that having given them leave to depart and sent them hastily away, they would repent and pursue them.
Right, because again, that's exactly what happened. Right, Pharaoh, Pharaoh, basically, the Lord doing all the plagues. He's like, fine, here, go. You know what I mean? Go get away. Go do what you got to do. And then afterwards, it was like the Lord hardened his heart, right? And he chased after them, man.
Right.
Lord
knew that was going to happen.
Lord knew exactly what was going to happen as we're reading.
Yep.
Go ahead.
It says, for while they were yet mourning and making lamentation at their graves of the dead, they added another foolish device.
Right, because ultimately, what was it, man? It was one of the last plagues was what? The Lord ultimately taking the firstborn, man. Killing them all off. So you had dead bodies everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says, they added another foolish device and pursued them as fugitives, whom they had entreated to be gone.
Right.
They treated us as runaways, man, slaves, because we were slaves in Egypt, man. So the Lord put that in their minds to think, oh, no, they just ran away. Now we ain't gonna let that slide. But they, you know what I'm saying? They just let us go. Evil thought says, for the destiny whereof they were worthy, drew them unto this end, and made them forget the things that had already happened, that they might fulfill the punishment which was wanting to their torments. And that thy people might pass a wonderful way, but they might find a strange death. For the whole creature in his proper kind was fashioned again anew, serving the peculiar of commandments that were given unto them, that thy children might be kept without hurt.
You can speak on it.
I'll keep reading. It says, as namely a cloud shadowing the camp, and where water stood before dry land appeared.
Right, that goes into Moses, Lord through his servant Moses, right, splitting the Gulf of Suez, right, the Red Sea, Go ahead.
It says, and that cloud too, that was Yahushua right there. That was the angel that was in that chariot, which was that cloud that was over us, man. And you can read that in 1 Corinthians 10. It says, verse 7, as namely a cloud shadowing the camp, and where water stood before dry land appeared, and out of the Red Sea a way without impediment, and out of the violent stream a green field, where through all the people went that were defended with thy hand.
Wow. By the hand of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That right hand is Yahushai, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It says, where through all the people went that were defended with thy hand, seeing thy marvelous, strange wonders.
Right, see, they were seeing it, man. The Lord was showing them right then and there, hey, I got you. Right, imagine those miracles, man. You're seeing a big-ass chariot come out of nowhere, man. Big enough to shadow a vast multitude of Israelites, man.
Yeah.
And
it describes in Exodus that chariot, that cloud, sent like a pillar of fire down, and that separated us from the Egyptians. So the Lord was buying us time to get through.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When you read that account.
Yep.
It says, verse 9, for they went at large like horses and leaped like lambs, praising thee, O Lord, who has delivered them. Jake excited, man. You see something like that, you know what I mean? That's why, like the brother said, we gonna be rejoicing in them times, man, when we see the things the Lord does, because we know who's doing it. It says, for they were yet mindful of the things that were done while they sojourned in the land, how the ground brought forth flies instead of cattle, and how the river cast up multitude of frogs instead of fishes. But afterwards they saw a new generation of fowls, when being led with their appetite, they asked delicate meats. For quails came up unto them from the sea for their contentment.
Wow. So the Lord, the Lord sent quails, right, so they can eat, man. Go ahead.
God, that's right. It says, and punishments came upon the sinners, not without former signs by the force of thunders, for they suffered justly according to their own wickedness, in so much as they used a more hard and hateful behavior towards strangers. It says, for the Sodomites did not receive those whom they knew not when they came, but these brought friends into bondage that had well deserved of them. You see that? Because I believe it was when the Pharaoh, after Joseph had died, I believe there was a new Pharaoh that rose up, and he didn't want us to become prosperous, man. So he put us into captivity. But like it says, man, they put their own friends into bondage, man. You see that who they had welcomed into their city. But see, that's what Esau did. He forced us, bringing us over here and then scattering us, and then he put us to work, man. See, that's how we know we're in modern Egypt, man. You see, it says that not only so, but peradventure some respect shall be had of those, because they use strangers not friendly.
Mm-hmm.
But these were very grievously afflicted them,
Mm-hmm.
whom they had received with feastings, and were already made partakers of the same laws with them. And what does that also remind you of, man? Going back to Thanksgiving, Gad, in this northern kingdom teaching Esau how to, utilize the land and how to hunt and how to survive out there. And then what does he do, man? He ultimately kills him.
That's right.
You see?
And this is why, brothers, making that spiritual connection that America, right, today is, the modern day Egypt, man. The scriptures even tell you, right, that this is what spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, man. Why? Because of the Moism that you see, or read about in what is that, Sodom and Gomorrah, right, in the neighboring cities, right? All that shit is here in America, and some, as well as that hard bondage that it's talking about, that we were in ancient Egypt, right? We're in a hard bondage today, just making that spiritual connection, man. Go ahead.
Con. It says, verse 17, therefore, even with blindness were these stricken, as those were at the doors of the righteous man, when being compassed about with horrible great darkness, everyone sought the passage of his own doors.
Right, that's that darkness the Lord ultimately brought upon Egypt, man. Again, another sign, right, that the Lord is, because you have to understand that in that moment, right, the Israelites weren't touched. The Israelites were not touched. Only the heathens were. So the Lord was for us and against our enemies, man. As he states many times throughout the scriptures.
Right.
Go ahead.
Con, it says, verse 18, for the elements were changed in themselves by a kind of harmony, like as in a psaltery notes change the name of the tune, and yet are always sounds, which may well be perceived by the sight of the things that have been done. For earthly things were turned into watery, and the things that were before swam in the water now went upon the ground. The fire had power in the water, forgetting his own virtue, and the water forgot his own quenching nature.
Right. So the Lord, literally everything that we know, right, to be what physics, to be laws of nature, and the Lord turned all that around, man. And things like water usually puts out fire. That shit didn't work. Right. Imagine how that looked. You probably didn't see, having a fire underwater. What happens, right? It starts to boil or whatever, and you'll see bubbles come up. And the Lord could have just literally made it, as if that fire was supposed to be in the water. You know what I mean? Imagine that. It's crazy. Just a fire. There's no bubbles, no nothing. It's just there. It's just there, like as if it's out in the open. You know what I mean? Open air. It's just there.
Right.
Just think about that, man. The Lord changed everything around in that moment. For who? For the Israelites, man.
Yeah, you can't forget that. Who did he do it for?
Right.
He did it for us, man. For the Israelites, our forefathers.
That's right, man. Our forefathers, man. He didn't do it for everybody. He did it for the Israelites, man.
And that was a dark time. You know what I'm saying? Because when the Lord brought us through Moses right to the Gulf of Suez or the Red Sea, we weren't told that was going to happen. Moses wasn't even told, right, that he was going to part the sea. We were going to go through. The Egyptians were drowned. That's why another thing, you don't know what the Lord can do, man.
Nope.
The Lord can change everything in 1 second. And you wouldn't have even saw it coming. But see, the Lord's thoughts are not our thoughts, man. That's why we just pray and hope he be with us, because things like this are getting ready to happen, man. Miracles on a grand scale, right? Because we're coming into a time never before been seen. See, just as the Lord is with us now, why would he not be with us in a time when we need him the most? Jacob's trouble, that's going to surpass, right, the Red Sea. That's going to pass the flood. It's going to be so bad, man. But why, if the Lord was with us in those times, and it's not compared to this time, or can't be, as far as the magnitude of severity, right, and tribulation, then why would he not be with us in days to come?
And that's beautiful too, because the scriptures say that the Lord is, that time, right, the deliverance that's coming is going to surpass, right, Jeremiah 16, Jeremiah, what is that, 23, right, talks about what? that this time is going to surpass ancient Egypt time. And just as it, because that's the deliverance, right? That's the deliverance, but it's also the events leading up to that deliverance, right? All the different plagues and signs the Lord, had happened in ancient Egypt, right? Versus today, all these different signs and plagues and stuff like that that's happening across the world is going to be written of, even Jacob's trouble, even World War III, the destruction, right? Including the deliverance. So just as there was a buildup, you read about the buildup, hey, we're going to read about the buildup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's going to be far greater, right? We're going to not only have the elect are not only going to have gone through it and seen it and been in the midst of it, but we're going to be able to read that to our children, man. In the future, man. Going down the line. They're going to know as well. They're going to be able to read about that, man.
Yeah.
The books of remembrance, and so on and so forth, man. But guess what? The main point, right, as we're reading about today, right, that we're going to read about in that time is what? The Lord being with us in those times.
But see, just like all of our forefathers, and we read that account with Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, they were in a situation where they needed a miracle to be done.
Yeah.
And that's why it's written in here, because it's not nothing light, man. You think the Lord just gonna put these stories in here for no reason?
Right.
For us to just look at it and be like, oh, man, that's cool. No, man, you have to look at that like, damn, that was me in that fire. That was me in that lion's den. That was me going through that. Really, that was. We crossed that Red Sea. We just don't remember it, man.
Right.
That's why the Lord always reminds us as Israelites that he's the God that brought us up out of the house of bondage. He wants us to remember these things, man.
That's right.
Because we have to. Because if we don't, what comfort are we going to have going into Jacob's trouble, man?
That's right.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19 and verse 21. Or sorry, verse 20 again. It says, the fire had power in the water, forgetting his own virtue, and the water forgot his own quenching nature. On the other side, the flames wasted not the flesh of the corruptible living things, though they had walked therein. Neither melted they the ice. Or does that say ice?
Icy.
The icy kind of heavenly meat that was of nature apt to melt. For in all things, O Lord, thou didst magnify thy people and glorify them. Neither didst thou lightly regard them, but didst assist them in every time and place.
Right, did assist them in every time and place, man.
That's heavy, man.
So that literally means no matter the situation, if you're part of the elect, the Lord will have your back. That's Psalms the 91st chapter. And you can go and read that chapter if you haven't already. A beautiful chapter, man. Right, showing you the Lord will have our back, man. You
have your back no matter where you're at, man.
That's right.
The environment doesn't change the power of the Lord. See, that's why the Lord said, he said, my arm is not too short that I cannot save. No matter where you are, no matter what situation, you can be delivered out of it, man.
Can I piece that real quick? This is Isaiah 40, going back to Isaiah 41 and verse 10. It says, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Again, and going back to Yahushua, man. When you have, because Yahushua is the right hand of the Heavenly Father, right? He's sitting on the right hand of the Heavenly Father.
Right.
When you go back to Yahushua, right? Yahushua, ultimately called us who? Right? He called the disciples his friends. Lord will the believers, right? The men, right? His friends.
Right.
You go back into that word friends, right? And Elder Apostle Gabar has gone into that word as well, a little while back. He said what that word friend goes into what? Brother, man. And Yahushua is going to be there for his brothers, man. Just as you even see it in the world, right? In a wicked sense, right? To some degree, right? You'll see niggas, right? They're A1 day ones. Hey, they'll go to bat for them, man. They'll fight for them, right? They'll take a rap for him, right? Jake even does that. Jake will take a rap, right? For somebody who he claims to be his brother or his day one, man. Now we understand they do it in wickedness, right? But just looking at that as an example, that's within Jake. Hey, how much more Yahushua within righteousness, man? He already gave up his life.
Yeah.
So even in the situations that we're in now, hey, Yahushua wants to help his brothers too, man.
Yeah.
And that's something that we have to believe. Right? Yahweh Shemel Shai is always going to have our back. No matter the situation. As long as we truly believe in it and are sincere.
Con. Damn.
We can close out with whatever precept you grab. We can close out with that too.
Con. I'll grab this one.
Con.
This is one of my favorite ones. This is Psalm chapter 5 and verse 11. It says, "But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For thou, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, will bless the righteous. With favor thou," so it's like, "with favor will thou compass him as with a shield." And I love that last part, man, because when you go into that, in the blue letter and goes to that word favor, it goes into delight or joy. And when you go into that word compass, it means to defend or to encamp round about one.
Yep.
So the Lord's saying, man, hey, those that love the Lord, man, those that trust in him, right, and are joyful in him, those are the ones that he's going to defend with joy.
That's right.
The Lord ain't just look at, see, the Lord don't look at name one of us, Lord willing, as just average people. Like, he don't look at us like an average Jake out here making TikToks, smoking weed, and toting guns, man.
Right.
He looks at you as something precious, man. You know what I mean? That's why King David has said, he said, "How precious are your thoughts towards me." Sometimes you be like, then you be thinking the Lord want to smoke your ass, man, because he do. Because he be fucking up, man. We be messing up all the damn time. But that's why we need Yahweh Shai. He fighting for us in the heavens before the Father and the angels. Look, Father, he down and he messing up, but he got back up and he's continuing to push. He's continuing to grow, and he's fasting. He's hoping in you and me. He's hoping in us. And the Father, man, he'll, quench that anger, and, you'll have mercy. But see, at the end of the day, the Lord looks at us as his, man. He don't look at it. That's something to remind you. So I try to remind myself of that, man. Lord, look at each and every one of us, man. You Akyam wa Akwaf as something very precious to him. His jewels. You think when the Most High puts on the jewels, it's just all dusty? And no, man. You see? Scripture say a man's gift maketh room for him. We all belong in this truth for whatever reason, man. The Lord saw it that we were meant to be here. But as we're here, we have a lot to learn and getting more into the mentality, right? And then really bringing into remembrance these accounts.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Because we the forefathers of these men who believe and were delivered, And we have the same opportunity given to us to be delivered from these said perils, man. Pursuing the 2 Ezra 9th chapter, man, by your works and whereby you have believed, your faith. That's how you be preserved. That's how you be kept safe from these said perils that are going to happen, man. And then, Lord willing, stand before the Son of Man. You see? That's what we're coming into. So like you got to do.
No, you good, bro. Because really, hey, at the end of the day, that's the whole point, man. Is to, Lord will be delivered by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, receive the victory, man. Just as, all our forefathers, man, the whole, they always kept in their mind, right? Even going through these tribulations that we read about, they always kept in their mind that, it's just one more, one more day closer to the kingdom. It's just one more, a test down, right? From all these different tests that all leading up to the kingdom. It's like one down, just go to the next one, and they're not necessarily thinking about the number, but they know, and it's just one more down, one more down, one more down, one day down, one more day closer, one more test closer, one more affliction closer, to the kingdom, man. And as long as we continue to have that mindset, man, we're going to be good, Lord will, but that's all we got, man. Lord will is edifying, Lord will is straight to the point. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Hey, double honors to the elder apostles of the Bishop of the Great Millstone. Till next time, we say Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah, and Abba Shalom.